some of you out there want to ask some questions, and some of you want to make some contributions. And our final speaker this part of the meeting is Lee Jasper, well-known race equality campaigner and co-chair of Barak, Black Activists Rising Against the Cuts. Lee Jasper, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, you know, I shan't bother to repeat everything that everybody has said, because they've said it more eloquently probably than I could even attempt to. But I just want to make sure that we get in context exactly what is currently happening to us. We're living through a huge international crisis in capitalism. That's what we're seeing. We're witnessing, hopefully, right, the implosion of capitalism worldwide. We see what's happening in Europe. We see the dollar collapsing. We see. I had a dream the other night, actually. I had a dream the other night that Africa was adding aid concerts for the United Kingdom at some point in the future. And that we were saying, oh, look at these poor white children on the TV. Look, they got nothing. We're going to send them some bananas or something. Yeah, you'd be happy to see that banana boat at that time, won't you? Yeah, I know. So we're looking at a crisis in capitalism, but also coming along with that, there's a moral crisis. And they want to say that the moral crisis is the sort of degradation that you see in poor communities with crime and single mothers and so on. This is a moral crisis of neoliberalism. That's where the crisis really is. And the corruption that we see comes not from the ground up, but from the top down on communities, where you allow a free market to sexualize little girls, encouraging them to buy bras, where you take a revolutionary music like hip-hop and put it with reggae and make it a Butty Rider special for MTV. When you begin to allow the free market to push asylum seekers into the illegal economy, to downpress people's wages, forcing them to live in poverty, that's where the moral corruption from this country comes from. So we will take no lectures from those in power about the morality of the poor and the working class. We are conditioned by our economic conditions which you set, and they are predominantly in your interest and against ours. And the recent events, let's say, we want to condemn the burning of property and the attacks on businesses and people's lives. My dad brought me up and he always said to me, son, don't shit on your own doorstep, and he gave me a slap around the head to tell me that. So you want to make a point, make it where it will be heard, not where it will impinge on you and your community. If you want real change, then what you don't do is have some sort of juvenile emotional reaction to anger and so on, and go on a splurge. You join an organisation, you get political, you organise your community, you vote out Boris Johnson, you bring down this government. That's what real politics is about. So I have to say that I offer my sympathies to those who have had the effects of this riot. It's reprehensible and it should be condemned. But equally, it's the criminal irresponsibility and immorality of this government that has set the conditions which has left working class communities to rot. Criminally high levels of youth unemployment. I come from the area of Brixton, Cole Harbour Lane. Youth unemployment 16 to 25. Officially it's 65%. You and I know those figures don't represent the fullness of it. It's more like 80%. The majority of black youth today are unemployed, not in university, and because of the sheer racism of the labour market, have got no chance of being employed simply because of their colour of their skin. This is the reality for our young people. Let me say that the responsibility, while we're saying where responsibility lies with us as well. Because if we fail to organise our own communities into a political and strategic force, that responsibility lies with us, not with them. We've failing them, as well as the government is failing them. And we need to reassert the politics of organising, trade unionism, working class solidarity, progressive politics. We need to re-establish the education schools, the political classes in the inner cities. We need to teach them the historical narrative of the struggle for working class, black people, women, the disabled, the elderly. We need to teach them where the enemy is, how to find him, what you do about it. What we don't do is abandon them to the reckless liberalism of this government and allow them to be turned into Margaret Thatcher's perfect consumers. And let's face it, that's what they are. If people want to know why these children are like they are today, look not to their parents. Look not to their parents. Look to Margaret Thatcher's destruction of society and the creation of a society of individuals. And let me say this. They will give you all sorts of reasons, like the whole country was overcome by a hypnotic trance that led them to go out and do what they did. Mark Duggan was shot dead on the streets of London, and they had, let me finish, and the corrupt relationship between the Metropolitan Police, News International and the Daily Mail and the Sun meant at the exact same time as you found out a man had been shot, you were also told that he shot first and the bullet lodged in a police officer's radio. How the hell does a crime reporter at the Daily Mail know what happened in Tottenham? And let me tell you about why there was so much rage in Tottenham. Because people knew instantaneously that Mark Duggan didn't shoot anybody. That was where the rage came from. And you know what? They acted with discipline. They didn't go out there and start burning things down. They said, we're going to a senior police officer to come and see us. Them and the family waited 2.5 hours. They sent some little sergeant with an equal opportunities policy to read them the script. They sent that boy packing to Scotland Yard and said, bring us a senior officer. 3.5 hours later, the family left in disgust. No officer came down to speak to people, and they said, we're going to go to the police station to get answered. That's what led to the frustration in Tottenham. Now everybody will say, well, you know, that's no excuse for the kind of violence and so on that we saw. And I've already said, we condemn that violence. But if you're a parent of a child and you beat that child every day, and one day that child gets up and stabs you through the heart, you can hardly complain about the situation that you are ultimately responsible for. I know I've got to wind up. And so today, when we come together, it's about getting back to our principles of organising. We're going to need you. They have put black youth in the spot of public enemy number one. That's where we are. We've always been in that position. It was temporarily taken over by the Muslim community, and we thank you for holding that spot for us. But the recurring cycle of racism means that the victims have to change. The scapegoating community has to be the Irish community or the traveller community or the Asian community, and then it comes back to the black community again. So if there's any black folks in here thought that we were out of the fire because the Muslims were catching hell, well, we're waking up to that reality right now. So comrades, I've got to stop because we've got a lot to get through. But I just wanted to say, right now we need organisation in the communities. We've got no money, and we don't want their money. We've got the best resource that money can buy. That's the human resource. If you turn up to our communities, if you help us organise, if you stand by us, if you support us, if you promote us, then we will lead this revolution against this government. I am with Zita. I'm not interested in liberal solutions. The solution is to bring this government down now.
Arrived later on and who are at the back, I know the acoustics are not very good in there. If you would like to come in round the side, some of you may even be able to squat down or sit on the floor if your bones don't ache. Please do come in and round the sides. Thank you very much, Lee Jasper. And can I say to everybody, do look on the website, Coalition of Resistance website. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up and become a member. You can look on the Barak website too.